A multi-million-dollar project is in the works to improve railroad infrastructure in an East Texas county. As KLTV7's Lauren Tier reports, the project is expected to improve the area's economy.
Since we bought it in 2010, we have kind of patched it together, bubblegummed it together.
Enough maintenance to keep it functioning, but after 3 years of filing paperwork and receiving environmental clearances, the Rusk County Rural Rail District is now able to use an $8 million federal grant to renovate the Henderson Overton branch rail line. The railroad stretches about 14 miles and helps serve customers by transporting things like lumber, asphalt, and chemicals. With help from the state and other contractors, the rail district will match the federal grant to bring the total investment to $15 million.
It's expensive and it needs to be done right. And if we do this right now, we can look forward to 30 to 60 years worth of never having to really worry about anything other than normal maintenance.
The money will go toward a list of improvements.
We're going to get some more equipment, some locomotives, some different things that can work on the rail and maintain it day in and day out. But on top of that, we're going to modernize our connection to the Class 1 carrier up in the north,
where the line interchanges with the Union Pacific Railroad. They will also be expanding the receiving and tail ends of the track to have more room for more cars. The other hope is that the project will attract businesses, inherently boosting the economy.
All the companies here that are using rail obviously employ people. They contribute a lot of money to our economy, and it helps build our whole economy.
An economy that could one day be dependent on the industrial business tied to the railroad.
Our railroad is our lifeline. It's super important to us now, but it'll even be more important in the future.
Lauren Tier, KLTV 7 News.
And the rail district is currently waiting to finalize some contractors for the matched funding and plan to start the project by the end of this year.